Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bar Run Forge. It's Troy, and it's another Tuesday morning tool video. Today, it's a real grind. Stick around. In today's video, I want to bring you over to what I would call our finish station, our grind and finish station here in the shop. We've got the wall of grinders over on the other side of shop. That's with the angle grinders. We've got the flapper disc, the grinding abrasive wheel, we've got the cutoff wheel, and the wire wheel. That's in one part of the shop where it's kind of close to the forge. We can do things pretty quickly at the vise. We've also got the bench vise, so we can do those either way. Moving over here, we've already done a review on the bench grinder, or what we call the belt sander grinder with the disc on it. We've already done the review on that. It's been a very helpful piece to us. We'd like to upgrade this piece, but it's doing what we've asked it to do. Behind me, we keep the belts on the wall just so we have them handy. It's kind of not an easy change out on this machine, so we try to keep one that's pretty versatile on the machine most of the time and try to do our finish work there. But over here is something we've been looking forward to for some time. This is our, well, we'll just say it, Harbor Freight buffer grinder. It's kind of the mid-range of the Harbor Freight sizes. It's the 8-inch, and it's a central machinery. That's what it is. It's got the 5/8 arbor, 120 volts, 60 hertz, 4.8 amps, and I think it runs at about 3,600 revolutions per minute. Now, we have used this. We got the buffer wheel on one side. We got the wire wheel on this side. We've used this on multiple occasions, but the problem we had before was we didn't have any really good place for it. You know, part of the reason when you're doing something with a wire wheel is you kind of want some access. And so what we did is we had this piece of plate, we had a couple pieces of angle and other kind of iron, so we welded up a platform and we bolted it, actually screwed it and bolted it to the wall. That allows you to get right up underneath here, get fairly close to the work, and there's no kind of stand to kind of get in the way or shoot things off of. Kind of an open platform, and we were excited about that. Now, one of the things we've noticed about this machine in particular is a drawback. It's a drawback similar to this machine here. There are some limitations to it. The power on this is kind of weak. You can do some basic cleanup on the wire wheel. You can do a little bit of buffing on the buffer wheel, but it's easy to bog down. We're not totally pleased with this, so we're probably going to have to go somewhere and get a little bit heavier unit, but I think this stand is really going to be the trick anyway. We'll probably try to find maybe even an antique, like the old machinery as well, but the stand is good and secure here. We like how it's set up. It's a nice place for it. It's right next to our grinding machine, but this machine is just not going to cut it. It's going to be handy for now. We'll use it for now, and this is the one that we've gotten, so this is the one we're going to use. And sometimes that's the way things just have to be. You know, if there are budgetary constraints, if there are time constraints, it's one of those things that we just have to be aware of in our shop. It's to not try to go for the gusto right off the bat. Now, if you've got the funds to do it, you've got the time to do it, let her rip, you know. Go to it and go make and purchase and get the tools that you want in your shop. That's not the case with our shop at the present time. We wanted a buffer, we wanted a wire wheel, and we went to Harbor Freight. We got what we could afford at the time just to see, and it's not going to cut it. So at some point in time, you'll see us kind of make a comparison. We'll get another machine at some point in time, and then we'll make that comparison between the two. I'm not even going to turn this machine on because I can be very forward with you and telling you this machine is not heavy enough to do kind of what we really want to do. Now, if you were doing maybe jewelry or some really, really light work, might be okay. But if you're buffing up chisels or hammer faces or any kind of tooling or anything heavy, or maybe even a knife or something like that, this is not going to do it. It's just simply not heavy enough. And we know it's not because we've got the power. We've got proper power here in the shop. It's mounted correctly. It's just too lightweight to do any of the heavier buffing and grinding. So as we look at some of our tools, we find that sometimes they have limitations. Sometimes those limitations are size. Sometimes the limitation is financial on our end. Sometimes the limitation is space. Sometimes there's tons of limitations that can be on some of our tools and some of our equipment as we work on a daily basis. Some other limitations that might come up might be power. That's the case with our buffer grinder. It just didn't have enough power. Now, we were made aware of that. We were made aware of that by using it, checking it out, and coming to that understanding. We also have come to the understanding that it is not by our might or by our power, but by God's Spirit, says the Lord. Now, 1 Corinthians, Paul writes in chapter 2, this is what I like about Paul, his humility when he writes to the church in Corinth. He starts in verse 2 of chapter 2, "For I resolved to know nothing while I was with you, except Jesus Christ and Him crucified. I came to you in weakness, with great fear and trembling. My message and my preaching were not with wise or persuasive words, but with a demonstration of the Spirit's power." And listen to what he says. "So that your faith might not rest on human wisdom, but on God's power." You know, we have to sometimes just realize through experiences in our life that it is not by our power, but it is by God's power that we're able to accomplish the things that we set out to do. So I encourage you to really seek after God's wisdom and God's power, and you'll be amazed at what kind of things He can accomplish in your life. Thank you guys so much for coming in and joining us for another Tuesday morning tool video. There will certainly be more forging style Tuesday tool videos. I almost said Tools Day. Sounds pretty good though, doesn't it? Who knows? Might be that from now on. But anyway, we thank you guys for coming in. We thank you for watching any of our videos here at Bar Run Forge. And we just wish you all the best. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.